Star Trek is owned by CBS Studios, Inc. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of. Every human being who ever was lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering. Thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor, and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Imagination will often carry us to worlds that never were, but without it we go nowhere. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. These are the voyages of the U.S.S. Pegasus.
Hunt's looking up and down this rock and looking to see if there's a weak point he can shoot out, maybe at the base.
Yeah, the base, it's like there's enough that it's staying in place, but it doesn't look completely stable.
Yeah, so he's going to shoot the base of the rock.
Give me a roll. I'm really trying to give you momentum here.
We just start rolling together.
One success only.
11 and 9.
Two
so
successes?
I got 2 successes.
One momentum.
So we get a momentum. Yay!
Hooray!
The rock
Hooray!
dies. We've won the game.
We've defeated this rock that I was very unable to push over.
So how do you do this?
So he looks around behind and realizes that there's sort of like if the rock would have, if you tried to push it, he sees there's sort of like a ledge which would be stopping it, just from the manually being able to push it over. Looks around the front and confirms that it would require a fair bit of effort. So he shoots out the few rocks underneath at the front, and it sort of collapses away from the wall a little bit and then slides down the hill and then topples over.
And with a crash, it lands in place. And it looks reasonably stable now. It looks like it would function as a bridge.
That is much more effective.
After you.
All right. Do we need to roll to cross this?
No, not
Or
unless you
do we
want
need-
to.
Unless we're, I suppose, if we were like in a rush or something, then yeah. No, we're I know Hunt's taking his time, so
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
exactly. I'll make it a difficulty of 1 for anyone who wants to roll if they want to try to get momentum. But if you're going to take it carefully, like crawl and totally be like I'm not going to fall, you don't have to roll. But yes, if it was Neanderthals throwing rocks and it's like let's go, we're running over, then there'd be a roll. Yeah. So I'm leaving it up to
so
you.
we can roll if we want to get momentum. How many momentum have we got now?
But if
2.
we fail, we
Then
fall
we
off and
fall.
die.
Kelle is going quite slowly.
Yeah, Hunt's going slowly.
Yeah,
I'm just giving you the option. That's all.
Yeah.
Aura still is trying to recover from a head wound and is not willing to take any risks right now.
So we reach the other side of the rock.
Yes, you do.
Hunt will give the counselor and the science officer a hand as they get to the other side, because he's obviously on the other side first, just to make sure that they get off the rock without slipping back into the crevasse.
Okay.
Thank you.
And it rocked a little, but I mean, it was a little bit. Oh my god! And then it's like, oh no, it's just there's a little bit of play in the rock, but it doesn't tip or anything. It's just that initial when you step and it went just that tiny bit of play where it must be not teetering, but just that little bit of play that it moves. And it's like, oh, and it's like, oh no, it's okay, it's okay.
So which direction, Lieutenant?
Straight ahead. We're getting closer. Almost there.
That is good.
So the end of day 1, you come down the other side of the large hill and enter a forest, and you come out of the forest and you can see ahead the research facility, and it's a prefab facility. You've seen a lot of these. You've worked with them in Starfleet Academy. They're livable. They provide heat. They provide coolness if it's a hot environment. They have airlocks, but they're not completely strong. They're not like a full, built structure. They're absolutely prefab. They're designed to be modular, so there's a lot of standard modules that can be used based on what the mission requirements are. So they're very useful and they're totally livable, but they're not like the same as like a completely built structure.
Okay.
And it is quiet. You don't see anyone. And one of the structures, which has that sort of, it's a tough sort of fabric around a frame that has been torn and it's flapping in the breeze where it's been torn, and access has been gained into part of the facility.
We should be cautious.
Thatcher, I've just been thinking, with what appears to be the de-evolution of those people back there, do you think there's anything that we should be concerned about with regards to breathing in anything?
I think that's a possibility. But I think we've been exposed to whatever it is by now, if there's something to be exposed to.
It's possible that it would be an exposure that would build over time. The researchers have been here for a
5
while. Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, although it's weird that this storm is happening at the same time.
All right, let's head in. So there's an open flappy spot.
Yeah, there is also obviously the main entrance
Airlock.
as well, which is like an airlock. You know that it's always that way, and it's designed because there's a possibility that these things will be on planets that have non-breathable atmosphere for whoever is there. So it's a standard sort of design. So it's not like, why is there an airlock? It's just the way that they design them. So there is an entrance possibly through the torn side, and also through the main entrance.
Well, Hunt will be making his way towards the main entrance.
Kelle will be following, I suppose.
Yeah, and I'll be following shortly after as well.
You arrive without incident.
Get up to the front door, have a look. Is there like anything that we need to do, like swipe or key in some?
I would say that
Probably a keypad.
on something like this, there is a Federation override code.
Yep.
And you see that there is no power, or very little. It's registering some, but the power is really low. So you can open it, but you'll need a bit of brute force and using the emergency system to open.
Okay.
And
We'll
someone
do that.
can assist you.
Yep. All right. So we Hunt keys in the number. The door sort of clicks. Oh, we hear a click. Really? Okay. So there's not enough power to power the door. Counsel, you want to give me a hand? I don't want Thatcher to strain himself.
I will try.
So how many 20s do I roll?
You
I roll
do
1.
2, and your assistant rolls
Okay.
1.
So what is this? Fitness and
This will be
security?
control security.
Control.
Because now you're not under stress right now. This is just
Roll
Okay.
security.
you only use daring when you're being pushed. If you're not being pushed, which you're
I
not.
got two successes.
And I succeeded, but Kelle is kind of gritting her teeth while attempting to push the door as though it is causing some amount of pain.
And 2 momentum. Good job.
Hooray, we rolled well for once. For a door.
When it's non-combatants, we do well.
And we have to open a door. We could do it.
Really well.
Good. So yeah,
Thanks,
it
Counselor. Wow.
swings outwards.
You're welcome.
It swings outwards. Okay. Well, Commander will go in first. I'm assuming my tricorder has like a light on it.
Yep.
Or does my phaser have a light on it?
No, your tricorder. Oh, you can have a torch too. I mean, they're within reason. There is a momentum spend where you can say, I'm spending a momentum and having this piece of kit that we actually needed that we didn't know about because we're a player, not a character. But that mechanic is there. But within reason, I assumed you took basic gear from the crash shuttle when you set off.
Yeah.
And I don't think a torch is too much of a stretch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if you suddenly go, we've got a arc welder. I always carry my portable arc welder. I might go, but if you're like, can I have a torch? Yeah, you can have a torch.
Being the con guy, though, very rarely did they take anything on away missions.
They had tricorders, they had phasers.
Yeah.
But there is times when there's a hand torch they do. So that's what I mean. I think that's not an inconceivable thing to have. Say, could they have a torch as part of your standard belt pack, or you took it? So yeah, I'm not worried about that. You can have a torch.
Okay, all right. There's like I'm assuming there's be like a utility belt that you can wear, sort of thing.
Yeah,
which might come with a torch for in case of crashed, emergency situations like this.
Yep. And there would have to be something.
You'd
like
have your life,
your
your life kit basically that you keep with you all the time. So yeah, basic rations, a torch, maybe a way to light a fire. Oh, you could use your phaser to light a fire, to be honest, but a manual way to light the fire.
If you don't want to look like a tool, I can use my phaser.
Well, if you lost your phaser, or you're in a society where your phasers aren't used, and you don't want to seem like you're a spaceman, even though you're wearing odd regalia.
Yeah, nothing phases them.
What? Oh. Anyway, Hunt pulls out his torch off his belt and flicks it on. Eerily quiet.
And you see one dead cave person who has a about 4-inch hole in their chest with scorch marks around the edge. And next to them is a human female who also looks dead, slumped against the wall. And the smell of death
just
makes
sneezed over them.
makes your counselor sneeze.
Is allergic to death, I guess.
It's allergic to the death smell.
Please leave that in. Don't edit out the
No! Oh dear.
And she has a phaser in her hand.
So, just the counselor is also a medic, is that correct?
Yes, a medical officer would specialize in psychiatry.
Okay. No, yeah, I'm just wondering because, do I call you the ship's counselor? Do I call you counselor or do I call you...
You can call me whatever the heck you want, probably.
Okay. Hey, Chicky. Okay. Counselor, I know it seems like an obvious cause of death, but can you just run a quick scan on these two?
Yes, I can. And using a medical tricorder, I will do just that. Oh no.
Oh my god. You
Oh
sneezed.
no. I sneezed. So that's gonna be 2 success, but 1 complication. Alright, so we have this person who appears to have been affected by whatever kind of de-evolution is going on, was killed by a phaser set to kill. This woman appears to have died from a self-inflicted injury.
Maybe they couldn't live with being turned into one of them. One of these de-evolved creatures. Perhaps this was a gradual thing and they watched their friends turn into them.
That is a possibility.
Maybe so. I wonder where the command center is in this thing. The communications. Does it look like a big facility?
No. I mean, big enough, but it's not huge. It's a research facility. It's not on a planet. Like, it's not a, as they said, like, usually at most you're looking at, in this sort of thing, maybe 20 people. So it's going to be like, there's a little bit of walk, but not, it's not like a multi-level huge sort of thing. No.
Yeah. Thatcher and Hunt pulls out his phaser, just in case.
Yeah.
Shows
good.
Thatcher the phaser. Tuan.
Yes?
Can your tricorder, or no, do you have medical equipment that could incapacitate?
I have a phaser I can set to stun. Medical equipment, I mean, I'd have to get in pretty close in order to try and sedate somebody hostile with a hypospray.
Alright, whichever one you feel more comfortable with.
Oh, right.
You did basic training at the academy, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And
I am trained in basic combat.
okay. Just checking. Oh no, from my experience, I was pulled out of the academy early.
Ah.
How did you make commander?
That is a very interesting question. I have absolutely no idea, because if anyone was to be promoted as commander, I would have not selected me as being promoted as commander. So I would be the last person to be promoted as commander. So sort of, treat me as one of you guys. I might have rank over you guys, but yeah,
Ah,
we're all on the same team.
I am trained in basic combat. I simply prefer to leave it as a last resort.
All right, I guess you stay in the middle.
All right, I will.
Hunt looks around, sees there's. I'm assuming there's only one corridor.
Yep. And it leads to a crossroads.
Yep. So we'll walk down to the crossroads.
And
I'll be keeping my eyes open, and my ears open in case of I can hear anything or
Okay.
see anything.
I hope your ears are not closed. That would be a strange symptom of concussion that I'm not familiar with, but...
Well, there's this ringing sound.
Tinnitus.
That's sort of not helping.
it is eerily quiet. And when you get to the crossroads, it says living. Like there's a sort of, it's a very basic sign, but it says living, command, engineering, medical.
All right.
I would certainly be interested in seeing if they have any medical supplies that would be useful to us. I know you wanted to investigate command.
Yep.
I can check out the living quarters.
This reminds me so much of it.
I know.
Lieutenant Thatcher, are you all right to go off on your own?
I mean, as long as there aren't any baddies in there.
I'm not sure. Well, there was 6 out there outside. There's 2 here, so that's 8. So there's possibly another dozen. That could be potentially anywhere on this facility or in the surrounding area.
I mean, the 6 we
I don't think
met
it's
with
wise to
outside
split up,
certainly weren't quiet, I imagine.
given the mentality of what we've encountered. I don't think it's wise that we split up. So I think
Alright.
we'll do it as a process of elimination. We'll do the medical as a priority, then go to science engineering, and then go to command.
All right.
So medical? Okay. You enter. You don't run into anyone on the way. It is about 6 beds all up and reasonably spacious for this sort of facility. The medical also looks like it's doubling as some of the research sort of area as well. There is one cave person strapped to a bed who is dead.
Huh.
No sign of anyone else, and there is very minimal power in here as well. Like you can see a couple of red lights on different machines and that indicating low power.
The counselor is not sneezing, but she is going to be looking around for any helpful medical supplies.
And yeah, you can restock. After sedating all the cave people, you will probably, and the 2 checks on your teammates, your base kit would probably be pretty low on supplies.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely lower supplies than you would expect, but there's enough to restock. Certainly your basic kit and maybe a couple of things that might help Lieutenant Book.
Okay.
I do not loot the body.
Once she has restocked her kit, Kelle is going to give herself some anesthetic and begin to look a little less tense.
A drug addict.
Nope, she has some cracked ribs she was leaving untreated as she was worried about running out of supplies for other people.
Why didn't you tell us this earlier?
Because it's not life-threatening, and other people's injuries were priority.
Hunt's looking at the dead body on the table. Is it strapped down?
It is strapped down. It does not look like they were torturing it. It does look like they were trying to learn what they could.
So, Counselor, is this more like, how they would treat... I'm just trying to think. A mentally ill person.
No. This appears to be... I would imagine they were attempting to contain this individual while also attempting to ascertain what was causing the changes.
Mm-hmm. So obviously some of them were affected and others weren't at the same time.
Yes, it at least appears that some were affected sooner than others. I don't think we can say that some people were immune necessarily, as the only person we've found so far who hasn't been affected did die of self-inflicted wounds. Yes, so I would imagine she was perhaps, as Lieutenant Thatcher suggested, attempting to prevent herself from going through the same thing.
Okay, do you have everything you need?
I have taken everything from here that will be helpful.
Alright, we'll go to science and engineering. Is it science and engineering or just engineering?
Mainly engineering.
Okay.
It's modular, that's the thing. But so it sort of depends on the...
Yep, so we're heading to engineering anyway. So, yep. I'll be first, of course.
Alright,
So-
I will follow.
Engineering, this is more basic life support because it's an oxygen-rich environment, so they don't need the same, they don't need quite the same sort of life support, but it does look based around heat for winter, cool for summer, and keeping the air circulation and power to the machines and stuff like that. It doesn't look broken, but it does seem to be operating on very minimal sort of levels.
Thatcher?
Yeah, let me have a look. I kind of want to look and see if there are any samples of specifically plants, because I know that's what they were studying. Anything that... Seeing if they can identify... If they manage to identify the cause of what was happening to them.
Nothing here in engineering on that.
Okay.
Possibly in the computer system, which doesn't seem to have enough power at the moment to fully access.
Okay.
Do you think you can get power restored?
It's not really my specialty, but I can give it a shot.
Well, I know more in the way of ship systems, but I could help.
Okay. Let's try it. So would that be
con and engineering? No. Control and engineering. So because I'm helping, I only get 1d20, right?
Correct, because you're assisting.
1 success?
And
2.
I get 1 success.
You bring power up to essentially emergency power.
And does that give us access to the computers or no?
Yeah. Well, the air conditioning is very low, but you can hear it a little. It's like emergency power gives you the bare minimums.
Right.
But it's higher than where it was previous.
So I'll boot up one of the computers and see if there are any data logs or anything like that.
Okay, give me a computers roll.
Right. And is that reason science? So 1 success.
Did we get a momentum before?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got
Not
3.
on the last roll, but yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I probably should have used momentum there. But...
Is the idea not to have momentum at the end of the game?
I would try to have spent it, only because it doesn't roll over to the next game and it gives you positive effects. I'm meant to have no threat at the end.
Alright, I think I found something here. it appears that some of the plants had DNA affecting properties. It had Irumodic syndrome. Have you ever heard of that?
Iramotic syndrome?
Yeah.
Syndrome is a neurological disorder. But I've certainly never seen it do anything like this.
Huh. It must be a new strain? Is it a contagion or like a...
No, it has a genetic component. There's genetic screening you can do to see if you'll develop it later on in life. That's bad news for our friends outside, as well as there's no cure for Iramotic syndrome.
Oh dear. Maybe that's why she
You can manage the symptoms with treatment, but it is ultimately fatal.
And it looks like this is a particularly aggressive strain. I don't understand how it spread to all of them, though.
I am not sure. Again, it wouldn't be the disease as I know it, as that has certainly never caused any changes to DNA or made people de-evolve. You said it reacted with the ion storm?
Yeah, there's some sort of interaction. It doesn't go into too much detail, but it seems like it had some new effects.
Huh.
interesting.
And they were going into human trials?
Yeah, if I can get a sample of plants, maybe I can figure out some more information, but for right now, I think this is as good as it's gonna get.
All right.
Is there any risk to us?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, I have no idea what caused this. And the fact that all of them were infected, it means that it's... Unless they just all injected themselves with something for some reason, then it has to be contagious in some manner.
And it seems like they were infected at different rates or at different times.
Yeah, meaning that if they did a human trial on one person, then it spread from that one person to others.
It's not a contagious disease. It's a genetic neurological disorder.
I get that, but whatever's going on here is not normal.
No, I agree.
So what if, like, the plant, I don't know, found a way to aerosolize it, or... It could be any number of things, but...
If it's a plant that they were all studying and coming into contact with the plant would be enough to cause it, would that not be why?
I mean, it's possible, but why would all of them come into contact with it before them realizing it was bad to come in contact with?
Well, if they were studying it, and again, I'm sure this disease would have been sped up by whatever interaction with the ion energy you've described, but it is something that usually takes years to develop. I can't imagine it becoming instantaneous, even if it's changed in this way. So, I still think it would have taken some time for any effects to show.
I guess they have been here for a while, but the distress call was pretty recent, wasn't it?
We'll have to go to the command center and find out.
The distress call was... Well, if it was recent, the thing that would have changed would be the storm.
Yeah, it's true. So it's possible there was some sort of latent effect from the plants, and then once the storm hit, it triggered the de-evolving.
I suppose it's possible.
Well, let's head to the command and see if we can find out anything else.
Yep, let's go.
That's
All right, on me.
all right.
And Hunt will head to the command center.
And it has a main view screen and several computer banks and a hollow projector.
Or followed along behind.
Yep.
I wonder if we can get any information out of this.
See to it.
Right. Do I need to make another computer's roll? So 1 success. There's a bunch of medical files here.
Oh, do you mind if I take a look at them?
No, go right ahead.
All right. Kelle's gonna go look at medical files.
You can give me a roll.
All right. What kind of roll is it?
It's going to be reason medicine.
All right. Sounds good. And I guess this is not the kind of thing I have any equipment with that will help, so just 2d20. Yikes! No, 1 success. All right. Interesting. It looks like they were studying 2 types of plants to see if they had healing properties that could be used on Irumodic syndrome and some birth defects. They noted that it did have a strange reaction to ion energy and that there was increasing ion energy recently. Apparently there's some samples in External Process Lab 4.
External meaning not attached to the main section that we're in.
I would imagine so.
All right. We should go there after we've checked out everything here.
Mm-hmm.
Hunt's looking around to see if there's any way to determine where the distress signal is coming from.
It would have been the hollow projector.
Uh-huh. What's the condition of the hollow projector?
It's not broken.
So it's still working?
It does appear to be, yes.
Thatcher, can you take a look at this?
Yeah. And computers.
Well,
So I attempt to try and get it working properly, and I knock out the bulb. Oops. I'm not great with these.
Oh dear, why did you do that?
You told me to.
Well, I didn't actually tell you to knock the bulb out. I don't see why you needed to take that out and smash it, but...
Well, it wasn't on purpose.
Okay. Have you been able to find out anything?
I'm assuming not, but...
How many successes did you get?
1.
And what were you looking for?
I don't know, what was I looking for?
When the distress signal was sent.
Okay, so I'm just looking for any information about the distress signal, how long it's been going. So it's been about 5 months on loop. I can see that much.
Wow.
Yeah. Does that mean that those things have just been wandering around for 5 months in the woods?
Mm. Quite possibly. Maybe sooner.
I mean, if it was old, that could explain why the person we saw the distress call didn't appear to be affected.
The Voyages of the U.S.S. Pegasus utilises the excellent official rules Star Trek Adventures released by Modiphius Games, featuring Emily as Lieutenant Kelle, Shadow as Lieutenant Aura, Raveninsane as Commander Hunt, and Ghost as the GM. Many of the sounds come from Sirenscape, an excellent app for bringing more life to your gaming table. You can find us at critfail.com.